Them are some refried beans right there. Big old refried beans. Back with the Courtyard Restaurant making Huevos Rancheros with Justin and Michael Hayes, the executive chef. It's just fun to say, Justin, you know? Huevos Rancheros. This is it's a Spanish sort of dish, right?
It is.
It reminded me of Mexico,
It's
and when you go to Mexico, you can get this at the breakfast buffet.
Exactly. This is a South American-inspired dish for sure. Huevos is pretty popular on a lot of brunch menus, and I loved eating it. So when it came time to do our brunch menu, I thought, how would I do huevos?
Yeah.
And so this is it.
Okay, well, now, what's Justin stirring up there? What's that?
So that's our guacamole. So basically, we kind of pureed it until it was more of a fine mayonnaise. So it's not like a chunky guacamole like
it doesn't look like the usual.
It doesn't. It's more of a sauce in this case.
Look at you go.
So that's his palette knife swoosh. Is
You're
what
like
we call
an
it
artist, Justin, over there.
Palette knife swoosh.
Hey?
And
where do you learn to do that? Over at the Courtyard?
Over at the Courtyard.
Yeah. That's the thing you're always learning, right?
Great learning environment.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and then the rice.
Yeah, so this is it's basically a rice pilaf. We call it dirty rice pilaf. There's a bit of cinnamon.
Is that what makes
cumin?
It dirty?
Yeah, it's got a little spice to it as well.
Yeah.
So we just lay that
down. It looks like there's a little bit of dirt in it, right?
Yeah.
That looks good. I like that. Okay.
So next, it's the refried beans again. These are.
Now tell me about these, because I looked at them and they look the color of refried beans, but they certainly don't look like the usual refried bean.
Yeah. So what we do is we take a scarlet runner bean, which is a great big mighty bean, and we cook it, and then we puree half of the batch, and then we toss the beans with the puree, and again we season that with some cumin and some garlic, and then some South American spices.
And then you put some big old beans back in there?
Put the beans back in. So it's beans that are dressed in beans. And then so those just go down, and now it's becoming huevos at this point.
I don't know the origins of refried beans, but I would assume that it was just simply leftover beans.
I would imagine so. It's either leftover beans or beans that were cooked too much, and then they said, oh, I meant to do that. It's actually refried beans.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe, eh?
I'll have to look it up. I'll Wikipedia it.
Okay. Huevos, for those who don't know, eggs.
Eggs rancheros.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, so it gets a poached egg.
Yeah.
Poached egg on top, and it's got a nice runny yolk, so it kind of oozes out and creates a sauce in and of itself.
I love the runny, just a bit runny in the
It's got to be just a little bit runny. It can't be too runny. It's a very, very fine line between over-poached and under-poached.
Okay.
So the last thing, just add a little bit of texture. Well, there's a couple more things, but these are some fried parsnips. So they're just
fried parsnips.
Fried parsnips.
Might I
like
try
chips.
one of those, Justin? Thank you very much.
They're slightly sweet, a little bit salty, and after that we have
the parsnip, highly underrated vegetable.
I love the.
I know it's good, eh?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's got a great flavor to it.
A great sweetness.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can even use it in a dessert if you want.
Mm-hmm.
And then so we have a little bit of tortilla, which is, again, just sort of cut into a julienne and then...
Kind of shredded, eh?
Yeah, just shredded, and then it's fried, just adding more texture to everything. And then we just put a little bit of scallion as well. And that's just to kind of brighten it up and make the dish look a little...
The scallion.
Fresh.
Is that a green onion or is it a scallion?
It's both, actually.
Is that right?
It has two names.
It's like the turnip and rutabaga.
Exactly. The same thing.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought?
Funny story, I went to a grocery store one time and I couldn't find any turnips. So I asked the produce guy, where are the turnips? And he goes, well, the rutabagas are right over here. No, I want turnips. I had no idea.
I think the real question is, what were you doing with the turnips?
I believe I was living in a house with a couple of friends of mine, and we were making a big old dinner.
Okay, cool.
A boiled Newfoundland dinner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have the mole over there?
We got all the mole.
I have the mole, yes.
Mole. So it looks pretty, that's for sure, Justin. You did a good job there, Mr. Artiso. Then there's mole sauce.
Yeah, the last thing is just the mole sauce to finish.
Okay.
So that's something we make in-house as well. It's got poblanos, chipotle, lots of different kinds of peppers. It has some onions and garlic.
Is that a bean anyway? It's made of bean, mole sauce? Or?
Ours is just peppers and carrots and onions.
Right?
Yeah. We just sort of stew it down for a couple hours, and again, we just puree it. So it's got a lot of acidity, heat. It's got the nice eggs that you crave in the morning. And
might I try this?
dig in, yeah.
Of course. Is this on the breakfast menu or the brunch menu?
That's on our brunch menu as well, yes. That's going to be
I want this to ooze a bit.
Perfect.
There,
Justin.
oh, it's just...
Very nice.
I want the
Very
beans
nice.
in there. I want the refried beans, right? So you get the whole taste.
Yep. And so if you come to the restaurant, Justin will be the one cooking your eggs. So you can expect that every time.
Pat on the back for you, my friend.
You did good.
I would like, when I come to the Courtyard, I would like you and only you to cook my eggs.
That means you're working
problem.
every Sunday from now
Every
on.
Sunday, yeah.
Every Sunday morning.
Till the
bright
end
and
of
early.
time.
Yeah.
Till then.
Listen, thanks, fellas, for coming by. Oh, you're going to be back with another segment in a little bit?
We got one more dish.
What are you doing?
If you can stand it.
I can.
We're doing a pastrami dish. It's going to be smoked duck pastrami.
Perfect.
Done in the style of a Reuben.
Beautiful. All right, you guys ever seen the Blue Man Group?
No, but I'd love to.
You can go tonight to New Year's Eve. They're having a big bash over there. We recently had a chance to talk to them after opening night. Here's the Blue Man Group.